Justice with Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for their ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Celeste Dixon is suing Monique Curry in the amount of $584. Ms. Dixon claims Ms. Curry attacked her and pulled her braids out of her scalp, which left her bald. Ms. Curry claims Ms. Dixon attacked her first, so she defended herself and says she also suffered injuries and ripped clothes.
In the matter of Celeste Dixon versus Monique Curry, and you're asking her, Ms. Dixon is asking Ms. Curry to pay you $584 for having to buy you some new hair.
Yes, ma'am.
Because of a fight the two of you engaged in. Okay,
Yes,
tell me about it.
Well, it all started 6 months ago. I've been dating this guy, and I invited him to my apartment party. It happens every year around Labor Day. And so I'm there chilling with my boyfriend. His name is Sam. When Miss Dixon here walks over to him and hugs him. So he tells me...
Your place?
No, it was like the apartment complex, and we were having like a yearly party, a Labor Day party. And so I'm there with my boyfriend, and she comes over and hugs him. And after which he tells me, oh, she's just a friend. I'm like, okay, whatever. A couple weeks later, I noticed that every time I see her, she mean-mugging me, attitude, making up her face and stuff like that. So I approached her. I was like, you know, I know you used to date my boyfriend. What's the problem you got with me? She was like, oh, I got a problem with you because he's still messing around with you. I'm like, but we're in a relationship, so,
that should have told you something right there.
First of all, I called him up on the spot, Your Honor. So she was talking all this trash there together. I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's call Sam right now.
You guys live in the same apartment complex?
We live in the same apartment complex.
Yeah.
And so I called Sam up on the phone. And I'm like, you know, this girl's here telling me, oh, you guys are together. He's like, oh, we're not together.
What'd you expect him to say?
I had him on speaker. She was right there, and, you know, she walked off like, whatever, okay.
And he called me 45 minutes later telling me, no, I'm going to break up with her.
Your Honor.
So both of you sound like two little silly people to me.
Your
You
Honor.
call the man on the phone and say, this girl said she's with you, are you? And you expected him to say, oh, no, baby.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he would have told me the truth because we've been together for a minute. And
Well, she say, okay, so she says 45 minutes later he called her and said, I'm going to break up with her, right?
Correct.
So now which is the truth? That he wasn't with her or that he was with her?
Your Honor, I don't know. I'm not here for the games. I'm just telling you that this is how I met this girl. And every time I see her, she's showing me a bad face. I asked her, what's her problem? She says she's dating the same guy. I'm like, whatever, you know? So when I seen her a couple weeks again, I was with my friends, and they started, you know, making fun of her because I had told them what was happening. And instead of her, like, minding her business,
So loud.
she said something to me. I'm like, why are you even talking to me? My friend said something. I didn't say nothing to you. You know, I'm just there, like, with my friends. And she just started to talk to me like, oh, I better watch myself, check my friends. I'm like, excuse me? Like, check myself? Like, if you want it right now, we could get at it, you know? And
So you called her out to fight?
yeah, not to fight, but she...
You said if we wanted you to get at it.
She was good back at me like, oh, I could hit you in the face, whatever I want. I was like, no, you're not going to hit me in my face. But if you want it, we could do it. You know what I mean? So
you called her out?
She called me out first by, you know, talking to me crazy.
got hit in the face then, huh?
After that, I bent down by the door and to fix my...
You bent over with somebody offered to hit you in the face. You had the nerve to bend over.
After that, she wasn't doing nothing, Your Honor. So I was just like really waiting for her to do it. She wasn't doing nothing. I bent down, fixed my shoes to show her I'm not going anywhere either. And, you know, that's when she pushed me down.
No one pushed you.
You did push me.
No one
How did I
Okay,
get to the
hold on.
floor?
So you bent down to fix your shoes, after somebody talks smack to you, you been down. Lord, you're not from the streets. You don't ever turn your back on somebody. Please. And then she pushed you, and then what happened?
After she pushed me, I showed her that I was from the street.
And what did you do?
I jumped up, I grabbed her from behind, and started hitting her in the face. That's when I noticed she wasn't from the street. Because she started pulling my hair, pulling my clothes and everything. I'm like, this girl not trying to fight.
No,
she
I
trying to pull
wasn't.
my clothes
From
and pull my
the
hair.
beginning.
Like
I'm
a
not
real
fighting
girl
you.
from the streets don't fight like that,
Why would
honey.
I fight you over a man?
You don't do it
Well,
like that.
It sounds like you didn't do too well coming from the street because you ended up with all your hair
She
pulled out.
hit me with a push me on the floor move. Like, you know, like who does that? Push me on the floor, like, come on. She pushed me on the floor.
So now you're trying to judge who fights the best and what kind
It's
of
not
fight
about,
it is?
Your Honor, I don't be fighting over men or nothing like
What
that.
you call that?
But
Right.
she wanted it, Your Honor. She was like in my
You all are
face.
so silly. Okay, I've had enough of you.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
She had a problem with me forever. Like, girl, I don't
You
know
want me
you.
to smile at you?
I don't know you, girl. You're
No.
talking to the same
You
guy
are
as me.
so
That doesn't mean.
silly. You
I'm
still
not gonna
talking
smile
that
at
crazy
you.
crap. Girl, I don't know you. You want to come at me? That is so silly.
And later,
So I
Okay.
ate the fish, and then the bone got lodged into my throat. Your Honor, seconds after I ate the fish, I was on the ground. I was on the ground. All I could see were blurry faces, all huddled around me.
Justice with Judge Mablean. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Celeste Dixon, who is suing Monique Curry for intentional harm.
Well, you all are so
Face.
silly. Okay, I've had
Okay.
enough of you. Let me hear what you have to say.
Your Honor, Sam and I are friends, and we have been friends. We dated in the past, and obviously he was dating both of us.
That's not
He's
what I
been
heard.
in my ear talking about, I want to be with you again. Of course, that's what he's going to say, but I didn't know about Celeste until that day party around Labor Day when he introduced me as a friend, because we were friends, but we were dating. Of course, he would take me out, take me to the library.
So you playing both of them.
He was.
Friends,
He
dating,
was.
Playing both of you.
But, of course, my
And
feelings
he probably
are...
not worth 2 cents.
No, not at all. But at the end of the day, Your Honor, of course I'm going to have my feelings invested. I've known this man. We've dated before, so my feelings are in
But
the
you're
mix.
not with him now?
No, but at the same time, I didn't know about her. He was
But
in
so
my
what, you gonna
ear.
fight over him?
I wasn't trying to fight from the jump, Your Honor.
So why'd you push her then?
I didn't push her. So the day in question, I was coming home from studying. It was late night, and she neglected to tell you that they were going out. They were going to go to a party and drop a note somewhere.
Hey, be quiet. I'm not having all this now here.
And when her and her friends were at the door or at the apartment complex, I noticed that they were loud, and I purposefully used the other stairs to come up from the other side because they were leaving. They were obviously going to go to the parking lot versus the street corner. So I went up that side of the stairs to get into the apartment
So then
complex.
how'd you guys end up in the same place?
She stayed there. She stayed in the front of the door and wouldn't let me in. So I'm standing there like with my books, coming home from my study group. Can I please get by? Excuse me. I just want to go home. It's late. I've been studying all day. Excuse me.
Your Honor, there was
Her and her
so
friends
much
are just
space for her
talking
to
smack,
pass. She
calling
could've
me
passed me without
names,
pushing me
saying
down.
this. You
need
just
to be quiet.
calling me like the side and all this stuff, and oh, you know, you a HOE, and I'm like, you do need to check your friends. Like they have nothing to do with this. If you want to talk about this,
Okay, tell me what happened from your part. So then you didn't hit her? You
no.
didn't push her?
So she bent down to fix whatever she was doing, and then I nudged past her because there was some space to get through the door. So I nudged past, and the door, when I opened it, bumped her. So
Is that the only door you could go through?
Yes, that was
Oh.
that was the front door to the apartment complex. So I opened the door, and
So
it
it's one of
bumped
the
her.
main, it has a main door and then it opens and then you go into the different apartments?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I go inside, it bumps her, she flops down, exaggerating everything, and then she ends up pushing back on the door and hits me. I hold it back, and then that's when she says, oh, okay, well, you really want to get into it. So she pushed me from behind, and then with the momentum, that's what I grabbed. You see how long her hair is? That's how long her braids
Your
were.
Honor.
So that's what I grabbed on. But I'm not going to fight her. I'm not a fighter, Your
Well,
Honor.
that sounds like that's what you all were doing.
She wanted to fight me.
Okay,
she
so why are
started.
you here? Because your hair got
Your,
pulled out?
Your Honor, after I fought her, I went home. I didn't even go home.
Okay,
I went,
so your hair got pulled out. You had some injuries?
Yeah, she pulled on my clothes. It got ripped up. I mean, she was beating me on the side of my face right here. I didn't take any pictures because you fight, that's what happens. So I moved on.
So now both of you got beat up, right?
I got my evidence right here, Your Honor.
I don't care about your evidence. You started fighting with somebody, you don't know what the results are going to be.
Your Honor, I didn't start it. She started it.
Oh.
She
I
seen
started
me
the
and
fight.
just pushed me down like she had a problem with me forever. Like, girl, I don't know you.
You want me to smile at you?
I don't know you, girl. You're
No.
talking to the same
You
guy
are
as me.
so
That doesn't
silly.
mean.
You
I'm
still
not gonna
talking
smile
that
at
crazy
you.
crap. Girl, I don't know you. You want to come at me? That is so silly.
Your Honor, I think she intentionally tried to harm me when she
And why
found out.
not?
No.
You intentionally tried to harm her.
No,
you
I
guys
didn't.
harmed
I
each
was
other.
trying to defend myself, Your
please.
Honor.
Both of you got what was coming to you. You know, you got hurt. You got your hair pulled out, had to go get a wig and a weave. You got your clothes tore up. You got your face messed up. You both got what you deserve. And tell me, here's my question. Where is Sam?
Your Honor, after all
is
this,
Sam?
I broke up
It
with
don't
him.
matter because I don't talk to
Not
her.
talking to either one of you, probably. Out with somebody else. Am I right?
Who knows?
Probably.
And the two of you tearing and clawing at each other like, you know, over Sam. And he could give a darn about both of you. He's just somewhere laughing. He and his buddies talking about it. Man. See how silly that is? Two beautiful young ladies in college. You in college too?
Yes, ma'am.
College. Getting an education. But the first lesson you have to learn from your education that doesn't come from a school book is you don't fight over a man. It won't make any difference. You're not going to stop him from doing what he wants to do because commitment comes from the heart. And no matter what you do and how you fight each other, it's not going to make him be with either one of you exclusively. You just have to love yourself enough not to allow it. You mad at her? She coming at me like she looking at me. So what? She looking at you. She can look at you any way she wants to, and vice versa. That's the silliest mess in the world. Judgment for the defendant. Your case is dismissed. You both got what you deserve. I'm out of here. Get out of my courtroom.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
Girl, you know you pulled out my hair. You should have paid for it.
Well, if you had just moved out of the doorway, this whole situation could have been avoided.
Coming up.
After we ate, everybody got up on the dance floor, started dancing. My husband starts trotting along with a fork in his hand, and he does a little Superman of fish into my mouth.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Jessa Thorne is suing Chester Lane in the amount of $12,000. Ms. Thorne claims Mr. Lane's negligence is the reason she choked on a fishbone during her wedding reception. Mr. Lane claims Ms. Thorne is an over-the-top bridezilla and says he already offered to take off half the cost of the food and provide her with a free wedding cake, and he doesn't owe her anything else.
In the matter of Jessie Thorne versus Chester Lane, Ms. Thorne, you're suing $12,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Really? For a wedding cake?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, plus the medical expenses, right?
Medical expenses, yes, I almost died at my own wedding.
You said that the defendant was careless and served you some fish with a bone when you had specifically ordered boneless fish.
Specifically.
Okay, tell me about it.
So I had married the love of my life. We were high school sweethearts. He works for the military, so he had a promotion, and he was told that he had to be relocated to Virginia Beach. And I'm sure that you know how far that is. So we decided to have our big wedding day in our hometown, and we wanted all of our friends and family to join. So we had 5 months to plan the wedding before we had to move.
She changed the menu 25 times.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, that's plenty of time. I mean, he told me that everything is made fresh.
Coming up.
I felt like I was going to die. I mean, that's how I've never died before, but I felt like I was going to. And
You've never died before?
no, I haven't.
Wow.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Jessa Thorne, who is suing Chester Lane for negligence.
After many arguments, after going back and forth with him, we finally came to an agreement. I decided to do an herb-encrusted chicken breast as one entree and a second option of a freshwater Alaskan cod. because my fiance needed fish at the wedding because his family only eats fish.
Now you got herb-crusted chicken.
Yes.
And Alaskan
cod.
Bone-fished,
deboned, which I
cod fish.
specifically had reiterated. I capitalized.
Not in writing, out of writing.
I texted it to him, Your Honor. I texted it to him in caps locks.
I just don't go to the ocean and pick out some fish. You know, I have to order, I have to source it out, make sure it is fresh and high quality.
Okay, go on.
I ate my urban crusted chicken, very beautiful. I had all my guests come up to me and tell me that the fish was amazing. So I don't eat fish, I don't like the texture of fish, and I wasn't going to try the fish. That wasn't in my plans. But after we ate, everybody got up on the dance floor, started dancing. My husband starts trotting along with a fork in his hand, and he like does a little Superman of fish into my mouth. And then the bone got lodged into my throat. Your Honor, seconds after I ate the fish, I was on the ground. I was on the ground. All I could see were blurry faces, all huddled around me. I felt like I was going to die. I mean, that's how I've never died before, but I felt like I was going to. And
you've never died before?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
You need to learn not to eat what you don't eat, though. You have some responsibility in that yourself. Because you said, I don't eat fish. But my husband insists, I don't care. When you don't eat something, you don't like something, just because somebody insists, please. You have a right to say, I don't like that. I don't want that. So you need to learn to do that when it's not something that you want.
Add one thing. I did call that evening. I got a call from my staff letting me know what happened. I wanted to talk to her immediately, make sure she was all right. I waited till the end of the wedding so I didn't bother her, but I called and apologized profusely. I felt horrible about the situation. And I offered to take off the price of the cake for her, which is an $800 cake, which I thought was more than generous. She would not have any of it. So I said, look, we'll talk about it later. You enjoy the rest of your wedding. I then sent her this letter right here, which states that I would offer to pay for the total cost of the cake and half the cost of the food, which is an additional $2,250. So over $3,000, and that still was not good enough for her. So at that point, I said, forget about it.
Oh, you offered him more than I was going to tell you to pay. What were your damages? The $1,000 medical bill. Now, he offered to compensate you for the inconvenience and basically the inconvenience and being embarrassed or whatever, and he made a very reasonable offer of $4,000. I think that's more than reasonable, and that's going to be the order of the court. Accept the $4,000, judgment for the plaintiff in the sum of $4,000.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $4,000.
You ruined my wedding day, and you have no remorse for it. I deserve to be compensated for more.
I gave you everything you asked for and went above and beyond. There's just no pleasing you.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.